Hello all, this is Mr. Lucid LJ here, back with another audio commentary today. Sorry it's been a while since I've done one, but I haven't felt too great this week, and there's not really much I'd like to talk about in wrestling at the moment, because I'm not really watching it, but a topic that seems to be quite heated at the moment, or a discussed topic, would be the whole John Cena turning heel thing. Now, from my perspective, I'm going to do an analysis of the problems I have with John Cena. Now, I don't hate the guy, but there is a huge problem with his character, huge problems which need to be addressed and need to be talked about. And right off the bat, I don't think he should turn heel, but we need to fix his character or make his character more interesting and more fresh and relevant in today's society. So yeah, I'll just start here. So John Cena basically has had the same character for nearly 7 years, which has progressively got worse. Some of the problems with his character is that he is booked like Superman every match. Now, you go into a match with John Cena these days, and 90%, 95% of the time, you know John Cena's going to dominate the match. Or even if he does get beaten up for a while, you know he's going to make this Superman comeback, and you know he's going to come and beat the other guy and win the match anyway. It was quite clear at Last Man Standing that Del Rio didn't get that much offense in, wasn't built up correctly, and you know, he got a fluke win because Miz and Truth interfered in the match. He didn't win the match through actual wrestling, actual maybe playing heel tactics, getting the upper hand on Cena. No, because WWE doesn't book like that. They book like making John Cena this Superman who the only way he loses is that someone has to interfere and cost him the match. They don't book it on the principle of, well, this guy could have been better on this particular day, or this other guy has got a little bit more skill than you at that particular moment. So that's one big problem with John Cena's character. Another thing is his morals for his character. He never gives up, but always wins in too much of a convincing fashion every match. There is little or no believability that his opponent has any chance of winning. So, like I said before, he's but like Superman, and his morals are never give up, never give up, never give up. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, you can't be this unstoppable, beatable force. You have to show some sort of vulnerability in your character to be believable to the mass audience. It's like if Superman was always winning, always winning, always winning, and the bad guys weren't getting any offense, and then your storytelling for matches and storytelling for feuds is redundant because, you know, you're just seeing the same repetitive stuff the whole time, and there's no suspense, there's no true storytelling in any sense of the word. And you know, John Cena's morals are never give up, never give up, and he needs to adopt something where, you know, he can lose and it's not the end of the world, you know, because even when he does lose, he doesn't come across as someone who takes the loss as something that he needs to rebuild on. He just kind of shrugs it off, doesn't give a shit, and then we don't give a shit because he doesn't give a shit. So we you know, we need to see that human side of John Cena where he actually gives a shit that he loses a match, and you know, tries to cut some sort of a promo where he wants a rematch against a particular opponent. And you know what this accomplishes is gets both guys over, and you know, get more emotionally invested in John Cena's character and stuff. So that would be another problem we would need to address and fix. Let's see what else we got here. He comes out wearing these colourful fucking t-shirts that promote this message, which seems very contrived. Like I said before, the never give up slogan and hustle, loyalty, respect just seems too goody two shoes, too contrived, doesn't relate to anything in society these days. It's too Hulk Hogan-esque. It might promote a good message to young kids under the age of 5, but what kind of message is it promoting to anyone in their teens or late teens? It's promoting a very Mickey Mouse perception of reality and a perception of lifestyle, culture, and society, which needs to be addressed too. You can't have all these slogans: hustle, loyalty, respect, never give up, never back down, all this kind of fucking waffle bullshit. You need something that can connect with people. Austin Rock had something like that where they could connect with the audience. They might have had cheesy catchphrases, but it wasn't this Mickey Mouse coming out with these fucking t-shirts looking like some kind of silicon implant. Fucking bin the cunts. But anyway, it needs to be something where people can connect, and it doesn't even have to be a message. It could be just I don't know, it just needs to be something else, because I'm sick of the fucking t-shirts. It's like a new t-shirt every 6 months, and it's only a way to fucking sell merchandise and shit for WWE, and that's not what they need to do. They need to work on his character so people are emotionally invested in him when he comes out. So, and we'll talk about stuff later like that, about reaction and stuff like that. Okay, also, a main thing is his promos on people have progressively got worse, because each time he cuts a promo, he doesn't convey any threat or feels any emotion that the other about the other wrestler in the feud. So, basically, like, when he cuts a promo, a perfect example, around WrestleMania time, cutting promos on The Miz, you didn't get the sense that John Cena was actually threatened by The Miz. You just thought John Cena was like, oh, this is just another opponent to beat, and I'm going to win another fucking world title, and I don't give a shit. Now, you just don't do that in professional wrestling. You need to convey this emotion of, this person is a threat, and, he actually could beat me if I'm not on my top of my game, my A game or whatever. So he needs to convey this message of where, someone like a Jack Swagger, someone like a Dolph Ziggler could actually be a threat. And if I don't step up and put in a decent performance or a very good performance, then I could actually get beaten. And, after the match, he should show that he is actually fucking pissed off that he got beaten by these people. He shouldn't just be like this blank look, like kind of smirking like a fucking prick and, not give a shit. He needs to convey the emotion to the audience so people can get attached to him and people can care about him. He seems to shrug off his opponent and does not seem to be intimidated by his opponent. Even The Rock, he's not even like, he's like, oh, it's The Rock. He's just like smirking and fucking, just looking like some kind of fucking, I don't know, cheese puff ball or something, like a fucking smiley face fucking sticker. Like, just stop smiling and smirking and actually give a shit. Like, The Rock is a legitimate threat to beat you at WrestleMania. It shouldn't be where, oh, I'll just like smile and hope he doesn't give a shit either. No, it's like, you need to fucking stop smirking and start fucking having serious facial expressions and shit like that, and actually give a shit about your opponent. So yeah, also about his promos. His promos also don't convey or build up any match. They're just words said that have no emotional investment, because you know how he's going to win. You know that he's going to win most of the time. So you need to build up the feud where he, like I said, he needs to convey that he's going to lose, or he's got a potential that he's going to lose. And, even as a babyface, you could attack people or have a good stare down and have a bit of a brawl. None of his feuds in the past few years have done that. I can't think of any feud he's had in the past couple of years that was really good, and that actually I was like, oh, this is a great feud, and I actually give a shit. So that's the problem there. Okay, let's go on to his actual wrestling ability. John Cena's wrestling ability is very mediocre at best, and the same way each match that he does the comeback, it's very repetitive and boring. We've seen him in hundreds of matches, and it's definitely got progressively worse, where we can even call each spot at each particular time. The comeback is very same. Each match is booked in a similar way. And it's like, if you actually give a shit about your wrestling, you'd change it up a little bit. You'd do a move in a different position. You'd add a few new moves to your arsenal over the past couple of years. And he's added a couple, but he hasn't done it enough for me. He needs to add more moves. He needs to change up a few of his moves. I don't mind his finisher. I don't mind his submission, but just add a few more moves, and maybe you might look a little bit better in the ring. Try and implement that into your thing, you know. And let me just say one thing as well about John Cena. Like, he's meant to be the top guy in the company and meant to have all the swing and shit in the company. But yeah, he doesn't go up to like the creative team and say, "Look, I want to do maybe a few new things here in a match, or I want to really try and get this guy over in a match, and let's try and put this guy over in the feud, and we'll do this, and this, and that, and whatever." And you just don't see, or don't seem to see, any of this shit. You don't seem to see any guy get over in a John Cena feud. And I'll talk about that a little bit later on, but that's just a major point, that he has all this power and swing backstage, but doesn't seem to do any fucking shit with it. So, also, yeah, like, good mic work and stuff, bash about The Rock and say, like, he was very similar back in the day. But the thing is that The Rock has been similar, but people actually give a shit what he was doing in the ring. People just seem to be like, oh, John Cena, it's the same repetitive moves. But there was a period, like, The Rock was, people were giving a shit what he was doing in the ring. And even if his moves and stuff were starting to get boring and his character was getting boring, his promos and shit were just still amazing. And people were emotionally invested in that way. Like, there's nothing to get emotionally invested about John Cena. That's a huge flaw in his character. And The Rock gave a shit about the feuds he was in. Triple H, Stone Cold, Mick Foley. He didn't just smile like some kind of fucking cunt. He actually fucking, like, showed, like, he gave a shit, and he could actually be beaten by someone like Stone Cold, The Rock, or Mick Foley. So that's a big problem with John Cena. John Cena's selling and facials are a big problem too. There's not much believability. His facials in the ring, just very mediocre. Just kind of like not selling it to the fullest ability, and not putting on where he's like, I'm actually getting the shit kicked out of me. I need to look like I'm getting the shit kicked out of me. And his selling is like, oh, I just get up anyway. So, like, what was the point of doing like 5 moves in a row and all this kind of shit? His selling is poor. He needs to sell better in matches. He needs to actually be like, I'm getting beaten down and I actually might fucking lose this fight or whatever. So that's another problem. Okay, we'll go on to some other bullet points that I wanted to briefly touch about and try and wrap this video up in the next 5 to 8 minutes. But right, he sells all this merchandise, but in the long term, pay-per-view buys and interest in the whole WWE product have gone down in the past several years. And I'm not saying John Cena is a direct I can't say the word, correlation of this, but I think it's a huge factor in the whole downturn of the business and downturn in pay-per-view buys and general interest in the product. He can sell a load of t-shirts, but at the end of the day, like, are people actually willing to buy a John Cena match on pay-per-view? It's cute to see him on a Raw, and it's cool to see him on pay-per-view, but are you actually going to pay the money to see him on pay-per-view? It doesn't seem like that. People don't give much of a shit from the people I talk to. Maybe kids and shit give a shit, but if you want to appeal to the mass audience, you need to get people interested in pay-per-views, and it's not just about the merchandise. You need to, drum up business. Like, interest and buzz about what you're doing, and shit like that. So, I'd consider, like, focusing on your fucking pay-per-views and, Like if you sold 100,000 or 250,000 less Cena shirts, but put another 25,000 pay per view buys, I think you'd rather have the 25,000 pay per view buys than the T-shirt sales. So, all right, this is a huge problem, and something that Gunn might work said, and it's just it bothers me. You know, John Cena gets more heel heat than any heel in the company, but yet he is billed as the top babyface. I just, you know, if you're getting that much heel heat or getting this much of a reaction, why the hell are you not the top heel in the company instead of the top babyface? Now, from Raw, from what I heard, it seemed like they may do a slow heel turn or whatever, but, you know, this should have been done ages ago. And it's like, if it's going to be slow, you know, we're going to have to suffer and endear John Cena for, what, another 6 months to a year? The same repetitive bullshit. No, I don't want that. And I'm going to use a perfect example of my point about, you know, getting this much heel heat. And, you know, Gunn might work saying, oh, well, it's a reaction. You know, and this is what Dante Savage said as well. It's like, imagine if Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3 was getting that kind of booze at Madison Square Garden. It would make no sense, it would be illogical, and it would definitely take away a lot of the drama of the WrestleMania 3 match against Andre the Giant. So, you know, just because you're getting a reaction doesn't mean it's good. It means that you're getting a reaction in a negative way. You're getting the reaction as you're a heel and not a babyface. And it's like me watching fucking Rocky, one of the Rocky films or whatever, another Dante Savage example, watching a Rocky film, and Rocky is meant to be your main babyface, but gets booed by the fans in the film. It makes no fucking sense. So just because it's a reaction, it has to make sense in the context of the reality. Okay, next point. Too many fucking pay-per-view main event matches and way too many world titles. A 12-time champion. Fucking hell, John Cena. Do you think I care if you won another belt at this stage? It means nothing. You just win belts like you fucking eat them or have more hot meals, and you have more belts than hot meals. It's ridiculous. Too many titles, and the title reigns have been really shit over the past couple of years. There's been no memorable title reigns since about 2006, so no, just need to stop that bullshit too with title reigns, and you need to step down from the main event matches the whole fucking time. Okay. Right, the next point is never has what is it? Oh yeah, never has put anyone over really that I can think of in a feud. He might have put a few people over in like just random matches, like The Miz at WrestleMania. The Miz is less over than a fucking dog at this stage. And you think that The Miz got a huge win at WrestleMania, he got a fucking fluke win because The Rock comes in and fucking does a rock bottom to John Cena. Are you kidding me? No, you need to get people over by actually pinning people clean, getting good emotional investment in the match, building the feud up right, and then it means a fucking damn when someone like John Cena does get beaten. Never does a job to anyone, very rarely, and it's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care about you, John Cena. You never put anyone over, so why the fuck should I care? At least Austin tried to put people over, tried to put The Rock over, Mick Foley, who else? Undertaker, Kane, or Undertaker, maybe not Kane so much. Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho. It's a pity he didn't try and put Brock Lesnar over because I think that would have been important. You know, Stone Cold was a little bit selfish, I guess, but definitely not hogging the main event spotlight as much as John Cena has in his run, and he was a hell of a lot more popular than John Cena. So, anyway, you know, this is another point. Oh, you know, John Cena's a good human being, and he does all this Make-A-Wish fucking charity fucking shit. But, you know, like, that's his own personal shit that he can do outside wrestling. It's great. Like, okay, it's a good image for the company. You know, it looks good. You know, you're helping kids out. You're making kids' dreams and all this shit. But you know, at the end of the day, wrestling is like any other business. It's a business, and you know, if your interest and emotional investment and all this kind of shit is not very interested in WWE right now, and definitely for me, it's definitely just slid off a cliff this year. The roster is just so thin, no one's over. Um, you know, if you're not doing anything to help the wrestling business, why should I care about your charity work? You know, Bill Gates could do a load of charity work, but like just put out this like mediocre, shitty operating systems, shitty products, whatever, and I'd be like, well, you know, whatever. It's the same comparisons, so you know. And like I said, you know, you can do all this charity, but at the end of the day, he's killing the wrestling business because he's not changing, and he's not doing all the listed problems. He's not trying to sort his problems out. He's got more problems than a fucking drug addict or a fucking alcoholic. So he needs to sort that shit out. So okay, the next couple of points. We've got about 2 or 3 points left, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up. It's been a long video, but it definitely needs to be discussed. It's a very important topic, I guess, at the moment, because if we see the same shit in the next 2 3 years, the same John Cena, and he's getting more booze than a fucking, I don't know, more booze than fucking Hitler, then you know there's something wrong. Okay, so if you think that if John Cena was given the movie roles and the opportunities that The Rock was given, do you think he'd still be in wrestling? You know, everyone always says, "Oh, The Rock abandoned wrestling. He fucking, you know, abandoned the fans." That is true. I wish The Rock was still in wrestling from 2004 to 2011 right now. But, you know, we could have seen some dream matches, of course, but at the same time, we we might have got really sick of The Rock if he was the same character. He might have needed to change up his gimmick a good few times. So it's kind of good that he took time out away from wrestling, took time out of the spotlight. He's given people like John Cena the fucking chance to main event. You know, do you think John Cena, if like The Rock and other people were still around, that wait a sec. Do you think he would be still given the fucking chance to like John Cena and these guys if Rock wasn't still around? You know, fuck's sake, you know. He's given the chance to other people, but people complain. I'm happy The Rock took time out. It would have been great to see the matches and stuff, dream matches, but hey, fuck it. And you know, John Cena, he might love wrestling, but I think at the end of the day, business is business, money is money, and I think he'd take the movie roles and fuck off if he was given them. So, okay. Like I said about the reaction, the last point would be, I don't hate John Cena. This would be my conclusion to this commentary. Don't hate John Cena, but if you don't fucking sort these severe problems out, then I don't know where wrestling's going to be in the next 2 years, because it's fucking really shit at the moment. There's fuck all guys over. It's like 5 guys over, rest of the silicon implants fucking been them, fucking blue plastic pricks, and you need to sort this shit out, boy. So, I hope you enjoy this commentary. I know it's long, but it's a very good analytical way to look at John Cena as a character. And, you know, we need to sort it out quick, because it's getting fucking ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to put this as a response to Deluxe Man and Good Might Work. Very overdue, but it's important to do. So, this is Mr. Lucid LJ. Peace, good luck, bye-bye.